Hello friends and welcome to today's video. I'm not used to having my hair this straight, but that has nothing to do with today's video. Today I'm going to be doing a grocery haul, and this is a grocery haul that has a few factors to it, and you will have seen this in the title of the video. This grocery haul is going to be somewhat WW plan friendly, and I'll mention a little bit more of that in a moment. But my biggest thing right now is having budget, frugal grocery hauls. I will pop up here, I think it is, a link to my video about like what's going on in my life. But to give you a little bit of the Coles Notes version, I am in the next couple of months both, if everything goes through properly, purchasing the condo that I'm currently living in, as well as starting school. So there's going to be tuition. There's just a lot of things happening that are making me a little bit more budget conscious than usual. So my goal for my groceries this week, and I am making meals for one person, but I think this is going to make me meals for more than a week, you'll see, was to have my groceries under $50. And that is $50 Canadian. So for my fellow Canadians, you know that we have really high grocery prices, especially compared to our friends in the US. I did do my grocery shopping this week at Walmart, and I did end up finishing my entire grocery order for $47.69. So I did stay under the budget that I wanted to stay under. We're gonna start going into the food in a moment, and as I show you what it is that I purchased, I'll also tell you about my plans for the week for meals. I'll mention if you're following the WW plan, these meals should be very WW plan friendly depending on what your 0 point foods are. For me, my 0 point foods are beans and legumes, tofu and like tempeh and like sort of those plant-based proteins. I believe also chicken and turkey, although I'm not using any of that this week. This is a fully vegetarian week. And also brown rice and avocados. So I'm going to be making use of pretty much all of those free foods in the meals that I'm making for this week. So we're gonna start out with the sort of like refrigerated frozen items. I did end up purchasing some milk. I pretty much only use this for my coffee in the morning. I end up having 2 or 3 cups of coffee, so that will last me probably a couple of weeks. And that cost $4.98. I'm thinking that unless specifically there's a reason for it, I'm just going to flash up here on the screen the price of the items that I'm talking about, just to make the video a little bit more succinct. One of the meals that I'm making this week is a tofu broccoli peanut sauce crock pot recipe. So it did call for getting a head of broccoli and chopping that up, but I thought to be a little bit more budget conscious and also to get it's also just easier. This is already cut up into little bits and florets, so it just makes my life a bit easier. I end up getting 2 bags of the Great Value cut broccoli. It's important to note this cut broccoli, it's not the florets. You do get little bits of stem and stuff in here, but I don't mind that. That's a tasty part of the broccoli as well. The tofu broccoli peanut sauce recipe, it's supposed to serve 4, but I think being served with rice and pumping up the broccoli a little bit in it, I'll probably end up getting like at least 5 meals out of it. You're also going to notice that there's no tofu in this grocery haul. It's because I have a couple of blocks of tofu already, so luckily I didn't need to buy that this week. I'm not doing this from here on out in any kind of order. I'm just grabbing things and talking about them. I did get myself a bag of Great Value popcorn. This is just the kernels. I know some people on their WW plan have popcorn as being a free food. I don't, but I love having this popcorn on hand. I have an air popper for the microwave, so I air pop some popcorn. I put a little spritz of like olive oil spray onto it. And then to me, the key for popcorn being a super satisfying snack that doesn't make me want to go and have like potato chips or something like that is I get the Kernels seasoning spices. And by kernels, I mean like the popcorn brand kernels. And for me, the best of all time, and you can buy it on Amazon as well as sometimes in the store. And for my American friends, if you haven't tried this, all dressed seasoning on your popcorn. All dressed is a very Canadian thing, but it's basically like all the flavors mixed together. So it's almost like a tangier barbecue, because I think it tends to be like barbecue, salt and vinegar. I think there's like some sour cream and onion flavors in there, but it just tastes like a tangy barbecue. So a bowl of air pop popcorn at the end of the night with some all dressed seasoning on it, it just really scratches that itch that I have for like potato chips, which is one of my like favorite foods. So I got myself some popcorn so that I can have that as snacks this week. And I mean, this makes so many bags of so many bowls of popcorn for the price. It's really good. Another one of my staple meals that I never get tired of, and I am making it again this week because it is basically a 0-point Weight Watchers food, but it's also very cheap and very budget friendly, is my favorite spicy black bean chili. I will put a link up here to the video that I made on making my spicy chipotle black bean chili. So I did end up picking up a bag of dried beans. This again is being a little bit more budget conscious. I usually use canned beans, but the amount of beans you get in here for this price is the equivalent of probably like 6 cans of beans. So you do end up saving some. It's pretty easy to do. You soak some of these overnight and then simmer them for about an hour and they are good to go. And it is budget saving, a little bit more time, but it ends up tasting just as good. Also, for my black bean chili, I picked up a can of crushed tomatoes. If they had had the Great Value one there, I would have had it, but it was out of stock on the shelves. So the recipe for my black bean chili ends up making like, I want to say like 8 large servings, probably even more like 10 servings. So I do end up popping some in the freezer at the end of the week, so I have some backup meals when I don't finish all of it, but that's what this is for. And this tomato paste is also for my chili. This is the Hunt's Herb and Spices one. There's also a plain one, but hey, if for the same price I can get some extra flavor, some extra herbs and spices, why not? Also for my chili, I like to get some peppers to put in. I started out with green peppers when I was making this chili, but I realized I really like the flavor of like red, orange peppers. Sometimes green peppers are less expensive, so I'll use that, but the red peppers are the same price, so I figured I would go for red. I thought this was going to be a little bit more of a budget breaker than it was. I tend to add stuff up in my head as I was going through the store, and I thought this was going to be closer to like $6 for these, but it ended up being a little bit more reasonable, which kept me under budget. And I do believe this is my last item for the chili. Basically just an onion. The other items that go into the chili, like garlic, some different spices, some hot sauce, all of that I have in the fridge already. Moving on to the other items for the peanut sauce, tofu, broccoli dish that I'm going to make. It does call for peanut butter, so I did get this Great Value natural peanut butter. This will also just really help out with other things as well. I mean, I'm only going to use a bit of this in the recipe, but the peanut butter will be really good if I ever want to make peanut sauces or anything like that. Peanut butter is high point on the WW plan, but I believe it is a 1/4 cup of this that's going in. So it's going to be split across a number of servings and ends up not being that high point. I also have in my cupboard powdered peanut butter, which is much more WW friendly. I'll often use that for making like peanut sauces, but it is quite pricey, and this is not pricey. So sometimes it's a trade-off if you are looking at WW and also being on budget. Sometimes things that are a little higher point are a little less expensive, but you just have to look at those trade-offs. Also for the peanut broccoli tofu dish, it required coconut milk. I just looked for the cheapest can of coconut milk that wasn't light coconut milk. Sometimes if you're trying to like save on points, save on calories, you might look for light coconut milk. But honestly, as far as I understand, it's just regular coconut milk watered down. So you may as well just get regular coconut milk and cut it with a bit of water if that's what you want. So I went for the just regular coconut milk. Again, this is a high point food, but I think I end up using a cup of this. And again, once it is divided out amongst all the servings, it ends up not being so bad. And the peanut butter and the coconut milk are the only things that have points in it for this recipe. And my plan is to do a what I eat in a day later on in the week and actually show you this recipe coming together with all the proper points in it. The recipe also called for some green onions or scallions. It's a little bit of a luxury because I'm sure it doesn't change the taste of the dish that much, but I do find green onions is something where if you chop these up, you keep them just in your fridge, you can sprinkle them on anything and it just adds such a nice freshness to any dish. So I'll probably be putting these onto my chili, putting it onto anything else that I make just to add that little bit of green freshness. I also decided that I wanted to have on hand the ingredients to make sushi bowls for myself. I really like making sushi bowls that are brown rice, and then in it there is like some shredded or finely chopped carrot and cucumber. I already have the brown rice and the carrot, but I did get a cucumber so I could have that. I'll then usually also put some air fried tofu into my sushi bowl and then top it off with some seasoned rice wine vinegar, some sriracha, and I also usually would try to have some Kewpie mayo, which is a Japanese mayonnaise that is just a little bit more like umami flavored and tangy flavored, but I couldn't find it at the store. So I ended up purchasing some Great Value Sriracha mayo spread. I figured this drizzled over my bowl would give me a little bit of that like sriracha flavor. It's like a spicy mayo, which is also kind of a sushi thing. It's not obviously as authentic, but it was well priced and I thought it would add good flavor. When I'm eating my chili, I really love to have some toast with it, and I will sometimes have that toast either with like Laughing Cow cheese, although Laughing Cow cheese does tend to get a little bit expensive, or with some avocado, and then I can also use the leftover avocado into my sushi bowls. So I wanted to buy some bread. I did pick up some of this Swedish light rye. This is from Dimfelmeyer, which I believe is just a Canadian bakery. But what I like about this is it's fairly low point, but it's not like a diet bread, so it does have that nice rye flavor. It toasts up really well, but it also freezes really well, so I can throw it in the freezer and not have to worry about going past the expiration date. And I believe, yeah, 2 slices of this is 140 calories. I do believe 1 slice is 2 points and 3 slices is 3 points. It ends up being pretty low point in any case, so I did pick up some of this. And then my last food item, which felt like it was going to be a bit of a splurge, but I really decided that I wanted it, was that I picked up a bag of 5 avocados. These seem to be just like within a day of being perfectly ripe. They're a little on the smaller side, but that's okay. I'll probably end up having like basically 1 of these a day and then until I run out of them. But since it fit into my budget this week, I really wanted to get some avocados. I haven't had them in a while. I've been missing them. They're free for me on my WW plan, and they're just like a really nice, good, healthy fat. And the last thing I needed, not grocery related in any way, but it adds up to the total of my bill, is I did need to get some new shampoo. So I just got myself some Tresemme Silky and Smooth. I have found lately that my hair tends to get a little bit more tangled, so I've been focusing a little more on things that will help make it smooth and more manageable, and this was on sale. So that's what I went for. You might notice that there aren't any breakfast foods in here. If you're new to my channel, I am not a big breakfast eater. I like having my coffee in the morning. I usually won't eat until about like mid-afternoon. So I tend to have like a really large lunch and a larger dinner and maybe a snack in the evening, and don't really do that breakfast. However, I do have some things already on hand in my pantry. I have some oatmeal, and I do have like some protein powder and some apples. So if I was hungry in the morning, I could make some like protein oatmeal with some fruit in it. I'm pretty lucky at this point. Part of the reason I'm able to keep my groceries fairly reasonable is that I do have a number of things in my pantry and in my fridge. I mean, overall, probably apart from a couple of spices and hot sauce and rice, and that might be it. Like, I have the main ingredients. Oh, and the tofu. I have the main ingredients here for the dishes that I'm making. So they are still really like reasonable, budget-friendly recipes. So I have the ingredients for my chili for the week, along with some avocado toast with it. I'm going to be making that crock pot peanut tofu broccoli sort of concoction. And then I also can make sushi bowls. So I think between those meals, I'm gonna get some nice variety this week. It's very healthy food. It's very nourishing food. It's food that I enjoy and look forward to, which is really what you wanna do when you're on a budget and tend to be eating like probably the same meals a number of times per week. You wanna make sure it's something that you're really looking forward to every time. Thank you so much for watching my video today. I have a question for all of you. If you are somebody who knows of a website where there are good budget-friendly meals, please leave that in the comments down below. Any tips or tricks that you have for me on saving on my budget, leave all that in the comments down below. I do enjoy getting any new resources that I can. If you've not yet subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. It really helps out my channel. And I think what I will do is I will put a couple of my other grocery hauls up here, or maybe one grocery haul and one video that YouTube chooses for you. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.